Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today we are talking about Grid Legends for the Quest 2 and the new graphics update that is terrible. Yes, I said it, guys. It's terrible. But I need you guys to hear me out. So, while I was away on vacation, you guys were hitting me up that there was this new update for Grid Legends, and it changes the whole game. It makes everything better. I was reading reviews on the Metastore, and people were really giving it good ratings now because, we can up the graphics. Well, I was so excited to get home and try this update. And then, I tried it. I put it on. I was messing with the settings, and then I was questioning, why do I have so many settings? Why do I have so many options? Why am I able to set this game that it runs terrible? So here's my issue, guys, and definitely hear me out. And if you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. But I think you're gonna understand my points when I actually go through all this. So the Quest 2 is not like a PC, right? A PC, everyone is running a different GPU, they're running a different computer processor, and everything's different. So if I have a 3080, I can run my resolution higher, I can run different frames per second, I can change things, I can change my graphic settings. If I own a 1080, then those people need to lower things. They need to lower settings. They need to lower frames, So the manufacturer doesn't know what you're running when you're running a PC. And that's why they give us all these options. This is one of the advantages to a PC, to have all these different settings, because you can set it to your system. Well, a Quest 2 is not like a PC. It is like a console. It is like a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or something like that. So, if you have a PlayStation 5 and you want to change it to run 120 frames per second, the manufacturer sets the graphics, sets the frames, and sets everything so you can run that game in 120 frames per second smoothly. Everyone's system is going to run the game exactly the same at 120 frames per second. You can't make it run bad. Well, here's the problem with Grid Legends is you can make it run bad. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why we have the options to run the game bad with frame drops and options where you can actually run it and it's unplayable. It's unplayable. This is almost like a lazy update that we got because they didn't want to test different settings and say this game can run at 60 frames per second at this resolution, with reflections on or off perfectly at this setting. That's what they needed to do. They needed to give us the settings that work perfect for each resolution, for each frame, and everything else. Why can I run at a 90 hertz or 90 frames per second at 125% resolution when it's unplayable? Why do I have that option? Everyone's Quest 2 is the same. No one is running a different GPU in their Quest 2. No one is running anything differently. So why do we have options to run things that are terrible, that are unplayable? We should have been given, they should have one setting. If you want to run at 60 hertz and you want to run, they should set it to the resolution that runs the best at 60 hertz with reflections on and reflections off. They should set the resolution where the gameplay is smooth. I sat here messing with this setting and this frame and that frame, and I'm like, why am I stuck changing all these settings? I don't understand it. They know what system I'm running. I'm running a Quest 2 like everybody else. So it really confused me why I'm able to set things to an unplayable game. That's not how this works. You don't buy a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox and you can't just set things to make it unplayable. They say this is how this game runs at these graphic settings if you want this many frames per second. If you want to run high fidelity 4K, these are the graphic settings that we set because we know this runs perfectly smooth at this setting, at this graphic setting, at this resolution, and this is what we give you. You can't make it not playable. There's no option. So I'm very confused. This was a very lazy update that we got here, and I was so excited for it because I was like, all right, we have settings that everything's going to work. They tested it. No, if I'm going to run at 60 hertz at 125% resolution, then I should be able to do it if it's in the settings on the Quest 2. They should know what the graphics need to be to run at that frame, right? They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. If I run at that high resolution, they should be removing things from the graphics. They should be removing buildings, removing people. If they're giving me the option to run at 60 frames at 125% resolution, they need to change the settings that would make it work at that. There should only be one setting at that, and then they should remove graphics to give the power to my GPU where it's needed. Why do we have rain? That's another thing. Why do we have rain in the game? It is unnecessary. It is using resources that you know, we can be using somewhere else, and the rain doesn't look good. It's basically lines on the screen. You have wipers going, but the wipers aren't wiping anything from the actual windshield because there's no actual water graphics hitting the window. So the wipers are really doing nothing except, again, using up resources. When you go through a tunnel, you basically have this rain in the tunnel. Like they didn't even take the time to remove the rain from the tunnels when you enter the tunnel. So I'm like, why am I in a tunnel and my car is still getting wet? It is very confusing. It is a very lazy update. They gave us things that we didn't need. You know, why do we still have, you know, there's a Carnival Ride on one of the tracks in the background that is spinning and has actual animation. Why is there animation going on in the background on a Carnival Ride? Why are those resources being used there? You know, the update that they should have given us was removing all this extra stuff so that we can use that power for our resolution and our better graphic settings. Those are the things I was looking for in an update. That is not what we got here. So what else? They gave us reflections, and I'm so confused by reflections. I thought it was going to show me like some kind of reflection of the other cars on the track, but it didn't. It kind of just showed me some weird, like, I guess buildings or whatever's behind you, reflection in a mirror, but not the cars. That is pointless. That is extremely pointless. And unless I'm missing something here, guys, let me know if I'm missing something about reflections, that there's some way to see cars. But I don't get it. Why would you ever turn that on? Why do I need to see that there's a building behind me? I know the building's not driving. I know I'm not going to hit the building behind me. I'm more worried about things in front of me. The only thing I'm worried about behind me is cars. And if you can't see the cars, why would I need reflections in my mirror of buildings and the road? So that was a complete confusion for me. So, you know, overall, I am extremely disappointed in this update. I was very excited for it, but I don't want to have to sit here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour and a half, messing with a ton of settings to see what works, what doesn't, what's playable, what's not playable. They should have gave us the settings that work at each frame per second, that actually works at the best resolution, you know, that they can give us. And that is the one that works smooth. They should have tested all this out and only gave us smooth gameplay at each setting. You know, they know what doesn't work. If I run at 125% resolution at 90 hertz and turn on reflections, even no reflections, it's not going to work. So I don't understand why it's an option. You know, it looks terrible. Even at 60 hertz at 125% resolution doesn't run. It's unplayable. It is extremely unplayable. You know, with reflections on and stuff. So why am I able to choose that? Again, this is a Quest 2. Everyone has the same headset. It runs just like a console, and they took the lazy way out. They took the lazy way out and said, here guys, we heard you all complaining, so you guys can mess with anything you want. They didn't touch the graphics. There's no way to actually remove things from the graphics to make things better, to run smoother at higher resolutions. They basically just heard complaints and said, you guys can now mess with settings, and, you know, some things work, some things don't, and you guys figure it out. And, you know, our hands are now, you know, off the table. We gave you what you wanted. You guys did not give us what we wanted. And now hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from about this update. You know, I was very excited, and I went from excited to extremely disappointed. If you guys agree with me, you know, let me know in the comments. If you guys disagree with me, also let me know in the comments. That's cool. So if you guys thumb up the video, that would be super awesome. Also subscribe, do lots of racing games, all different racing games on the channel. And, you know, lots of VR racing too, because I love VR and racing. I think they work hand in hand. Let me also know, I'm kind of curious if you guys own a PSVR 2 and a GT7. I have not picked it up yet. I think I'm trying to hold out on it. We have a Quest 3 coming out later this year, which you know, that's one headset I'm definitely going to be picking up. I'm still on the fence about the PSVR 2 for just GT7. I'm trying to hold out. You know, I think maybe if I hit 1,000 subscribers, maybe that'll be like a little, you know, that'll be a grab at 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to subscribe and help me out there, that would be super awesome. But let me know in the comments, guys. All right. Thanks for watching so much. We out of here. Peace.